the Aircraft Certification Reform and Accountability Act. Your leadership on this landmark legislation and the partnership of Ranking Member Graves of Missouri and Aviation Subcommittee Ranking Member Graves of Louisiana underscores the importance of this committee's oversight work to ensure aviation safety. On October 29th, 2018 and March 10th, 2019, 346 people tragically died in the Lion Air Flight 610 and Ethiopia Airlines Flight 302 crashes. The victims were parents, children, teachers, friends, and humanitarians who deserved to arrive safely at their destinations. And for nearly 2 years, while experiencing unthinkable grief, the victims' loved ones tirelessly advocated for necessary reforms to the Federal Aviation Administration's aircraft certification process. Their presence has served as a constant reminder of what is at stake if Congress does not address the systemic safety issues in U.S. aviation. Since the start of the committee's thorough investigation 18 months ago into the design, development, and certification of the Boeing 737 MAX, safety has been our guiding principle. The committee reviewed more than 500,000 pages of documents provided by the FAA, Boeing, and others, held 5 hearings with the administration and stakeholders across the aviation industry and the victims' families, interviewed key employees at Boeing and the FAA, and listened to concerns from several whistleblowers. The committee's thorough investigation uncovered seriously flawed management decisions and inadequate organizational structures at Boeing and the FAA that are difficult to hear about, but they are necessary to confront about the certification process for the 737 MAX. These include Boeing's failure to disclose safety-critical information to the FAA and customers, the FAA's significant lack of oversight, unprecedented production pressures that put profits over people, and combined, these issues eroded safety and contributed to the 2 737 MAX crashes. So Congress does have an obligation to the 346 victims of the 2 crashes and to their families, as well as to the traveling public, to strengthen the FAA's oversight and aircraft certification process and to ensure the safety of air travel. And the Aircraft Certification Reform and Accountability Act is a bipartisan, comprehensive bill to bridge the significant gaps in the current aircraft certification process uncovered by the investigation and uncovered by many others. The legislation will improve safety culture by requiring the FAA to issue rules for the aviation industry manufacturers to adopt safety management systems. It will include an expert review panel to evaluate Boeing's safety culture and to make recommendations for improvements. It will include FAA approval of ODA unit members who work for manufacturers, but on behalf of the FAA to ensure they are qualified and of good character to perform their duties in the public interest of safety. It will also enhance transparency and accountability by requiring, among other things, that manufacturers disclose aircraft safety critical information, particularly related to flight control systems to the FAA and to flight crews. That the FAA, in collaboration with labor unions, will work to implement a confidential, voluntary reporting program for employees to identify potential safety issues or other concerns. Our legislation will address undue pressure on employees acting on behalf of the FAA within a manufacturer by imposing a civil penalty against the individuals within a company who interfere with an ODA unit member's performance of their FAA-authorized duties, directing the FAA to establish an appeal process for FAA employees to seek elevated review of decisions made regarding a manufacturer's compliance with FAA safety standards with which they dispute as erroneous, and extending whistleblower protections, like those currently afforded to airline employees to U.S. manufacturing employees. The bill also includes my bipartisan bill with Subcommittee Ranking Member Graves to reinforce human factors, requiring the FAA evaluate tools to integrate human factors into the aircraft certification of flight control systems for transport airplanes, requiring the agency to develop human factors education program for relevant employees and other authorized representatives, and requiring manufacturers to provide the FAA with information and findings on flight crew training to ensure it adequately includes consideration of human factors. In conclusion, the foundation of U.S. aviation is safety. This bill reinforces this foundation to ensure the integrity of the FAA and the U.S. aviation manufacturing industry. The two tragic 737 MAX crashes served as a stark wake-up call about the deficiencies in our certification process, and our legislation makes necessary improvements to address these issues. And I want to thank the majority and minority committee staff for their hard work on this bipartisan legislation as well. I look forward to moving it through to the House floor and encourage its support. Thank you. With that, I yield back.
Thank the gentleman. I now recognize